I just wanted to talk with you very quickly about something that I have implemented in my offices actually for about the past 3 years. I have always put something on the back of the client data sheet, which are additional disclosures and information that we always have the customer sign. And what initiated this was a few years ago when we were running into issues with the 1095A, and we were asking clients about marketplace insurance, and they'd say no, and then we would indicate that in the software, and then sure enough they'd get the letter and their refund would be delayed and they'd be upset with us. Nobody asked me that question, and so forth. So we began to add things to the back, really to kind of save our skin, because we knew that we had trained our staff properly and these questions were being addressed. They were in the software, but the clients didn't remember or didn't understand. So this is extra accountability, not only for the client for us to go over it with them, but also for our staff to make sure that we are covering these instances in the software. So this year I have added, there's 3 different sections. One is in regards to due diligence, one for self-employment, and one for health insurance coverage. So I want to show you what this form looks like. Again, I just typed this up, and it may not be exactly legal, proper lingo, but this is the wording is what worked well for us. So this first section here is in regards to earned income credit, head of household, and due diligence. And I, the taxpayer, have been made aware the IRS has certain requirements and regulations for verifications in order to be able to 1, file head of household, 2, claim the earned income tax credit, or the last one, neither of these apply to my tax situation this year. So the tax preparer will be going over each one of these sections with the taxpayer, and one of these has to be checked, at least one of these. So if it doesn't apply, neither, or if head of household or EIC apply, then you would check those. They are also agreeing to provide the documents to the tax preparer when they are asked before the return can be transmitted. If they don't provide the documents, their return is not going to be transmitted by Liberty Tax, and IRS will not process the return. The second section is in regards to self-employment verification. So we always ask the taxpayer for all records of income or sources of income, but this is also includes but not limited to self-employment. So they are agreeing by checking these boxes and signing this form that they're going to provide all the documentation regarding income and expenses related to their self-employment, that they understand the preparer may ask additional questions and may require a reconstruction interview based on those due diligence requirements of the IRS. So one of these boxes has to be checked. They agree to it, or they don't have self-employment income, one of the two. The third section is in regards to their insurance coverage. So we ask them always in the software, do you have insurance coverage? Specifically this year, we're asking about health insurance through the marketplace at healthcare.gov. And I have been advised that if I have purchased health insurance through healthcare.gov, I will receive a 1095A form. I have been advised that that form is necessary and mandatory in order to complete an accurate return. Without this form, my return will not be processed correctly by the IRS, and any refund due will be delayed until such form is submitted. And then it says, I do not have marketplace insurance or a 1095A. I do have a 1095A form, and I have provided it to my preparer, or I have other coverage like Medicaid, Medicare, or private insurance, or I do not have insurance coverage. And while I realize there's no penalty this year if they don't have insurance coverage, this indicates that we've had the conversation and that we have asked these questions with the taxpayer. And then they sign it, and also the preparer signs it. If it's a joint return, either the taxpayer or the spouse can sign. I'm fine with that. And then the preparer signs it. Again, this is on the back of the data sheet. And when we go to process the return, the processor will look and make sure that all of these boxes have been checked, or the sections have been addressed, and the signatures are on the bottom. And if they've been checked but not signed, we may call the taxpayer. We may not hold up a return for this, but we have to make sure that the taxpayer understands all of these before we process the return.